This was another decent episode, in my opinion. Um, I want to start off with the Helena stuff, just to sum up most of her plot line and arc for this episode. Um, some of the Dream stuff I really love this episode to see. I don't like because it's so confusing. Is it like was some of this Helena's future? Was some of this Helena's past? Like, was this her birthing a baby in the past, or was this her birthing a baby in the future? Something like that. Um, but in the beginning scene, her just being questioned about her dreams and magical blood magic dreams is it's very hard to explain to somebody, especially probably when you're the person going through it. So like, she's just not like let's say like a that's so Raven. She's finna just vision everything Rhaenyra need her to vision or something like that. That's not happening. She sees hints and stuff for the future throughout her dreams. Rhaenyra just questioning her to the point she's trying to use it for like tactical advice and use it for strategy for her armies and stuff like that. Just basing a lot of stuff off just one person dreams, but you gotta understand Helena wouldn't necessarily. Would she? Yes, she would be dreaming about some of these things as we seen last season, with her dream getting linked up somehow with Damon's dream with the werewolf. But I just don't know. I just don't know with that one. Happy that we are getting more of Helena throughout this season. I feel like in the first two seasons and stuff like that, she was more of a side character, background character, even after the horrible things that happened to her son. Now we really get to see what type of person Helena is without the magical hints towards the future and stuff. We see that she's a person that has interest in a peaceful life. She doesn't want to be all involved in court and politics, using her dreams and her gifts to help Rhaenyra burn more family members and stuff like that. No. But with the dream in the future, with her on her dragon, Dreamfire, I will talk more about that in the spoiler section because I really don't want to, you know, spoil the show for y'all. There will be a spoiler section at the end of this video. But yeah, I feel like other than that, that's all for with her done. Well, I do want to talk about the Rhaenyra grabbing her and trying to pressure her into spilling details about her dreams. When we see Rhaenyra think kindly of Helena, but when has Rhaenyra ever put any time in with Helena? These two sides of the family been beefing for years, and when Rhaenyra do show up, it's to punish them. It's to question them, to ask them for help about killing family members that they kind of love and stuff like that. So you can understand if Helena did know something about what's going to happen at Tumbleton or what's going to happen in the future and how this war is going to end up. I feel like that's something she would keep to herself. Um, but you also gotta see Rhaenyra has been stressed. That's then the next plot line I want to get to is Rhaenyra, her being stressed out throughout this goddamn entire reign. I feel like they are doing a good job as portraying that because this is not an easy job at this time period. She is ruling a realm that's under a civil war where battles can pop off any fucking where because everybody has this opposing opinion on who they want to support. It may look like a lot of it is oh, this whole region of the realm is for Rhaenyra. It's not like that in the Civil War. We know what happened in realistic Civil Wars. You would then be beefing with your cousin or your neighbors. So yeah, and I feel like we've seen some of that in season 2 with the Brackens and Blackwoods. Them always having this personal beef, but them using the war to as an excuse to go at each other and stuff like that. But I want to check real quick just to see if my audio is working. Just one moment. Yeah, just give me one moment, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, audio is working. But yeah, we are seeing a lot of things that Rhaenyra is having to deal with. She's having to deal and balance out with feeding around and also trying to find some security to protect this goddamn city. And I love seeing like the common folks airing out their grievances when it comes to the protection that they miss. It's not the common folk asking to be less gold cloaks in the city. They're not asking for that to be less protection in the city or the city to turn into chaos. I feel like they are asking for the more fucking food, and which is very understandable. But that don't mean we need to also cut off our security, our police of this city, and to the point where the city is turning into chaos and all the innocent and people that can't really protect themselves that well is getting harassed in the city. And they are coming to complain about this, and I don't really like the woman that came to complain to Mazzari about that, Aemon's old mistress, because from our POV, we seen Mazzaria stand up for the common people the most out of anyone in the small council. To say that she's changing, they're not one of us anymore or something like that, that's sound like some hating ass bullshit, because we see her get into an argument every small council meeting talking about how we need to look out for the common people, how we need to feed them, and her going back and forth with Damon about that. But I do agree with that, but it's also that thing that I agree with Damon on. We need to look out for the people that help us defend this city, help us police this city, and also help us fucking take this city. So yes, that's just problems Rhaenyra has to deal with. It's one of those situations. It's not going to be an easy answer. It's not going to be an answer where she can help both parties or both situations and stuff like that, because again, she has no money. But I also believe Rhaenyra need to hear out her master coin, because I know they set it up plot wise for him to be the fall guy in this situation, but you still need money right now. This is not fixing anything. This is just having somebody to point your finger at so you can flee real quick, as she did last episode. So yeah, when he's suggesting new taxes and suggesting how to get more money for the kingdom and the city and the realm, I feel like we need to hear the guy out. Like, even if we're not going to use this money to help the city, we need money for our armies, new weapons, food to feed our armies. We need money right now, and just blowing off your master coin, that's not helping the situation at all. I feel like with the stuff that you need from this war, being on good terms and hearing out your master coin the most is the most important thing right now. But it's also those other things where she has to deal with a fucking war. She has to deal with family drama, as we seen this fucking episode. it's just so much on her plate. I love the way that they show us how she gets overwhelmed by these things and show us how sometimes she can get convinced by people that doesn't really have the best advice for her. Sometimes I will admit Damon don't always have the best advice for her. So that's why I feel like she kept Linda Massey in that room with her just to be her crutch, to be her strong shoulder to lean on, just so she wouldn't cave in and fold for, in her opinion, more Damon lies and bullshit. But in Mazaria's situation, I feel like she just need to stop listening to all and everything that Mazaria say, and I feel like Mazaria, that Rhaenyra has brought this up to Mazaria now. Mazaria's gonna lean into it more. Say, "Oh, you insecure about this now? Oh, okay. Let me just use lust. Let me just use the thing that made us closer and really help build our bond." So, yeah. I want to make sure that was all with most of the King's Landing Rhaenyra stuff. Um, we did see a small council meeting, but not really nothing that much news. She got rid of the Frey woman, told her to gather her force and march on Harrenhal, but that was just to get another annoying person out of her way. I feel like she really needs to work on her small council. She has in my opinion, Rhaenyra has a horrible small council. She has two people that she is intimate with, and those two people hate each other. So they are spending the small council meetings beefing with each other most of the time and objecting each other's ideas and stuff like that. It just, yeah, that's some bullshit right there. And everybody else, you're not either listening to. The Frey woman, she was just there to get a little bit of her power and get Harrenhal. That's all I'll see. But yeah, Adam, he's been a wonderful help on the council and so far, but other than that, she need more level-headed people, or she need to start listening to more level-headed people on her council. But yeah, I feel like that's everything that happened in the small council meeting. Them telling the army has advanced and still marching towards Thomas real close away. I believe either they are outside the city walls or like a day's march close. Either one, they closest spot. Closest spot to where they can. I don't think they can run at this point. But other than that, yeah, that's all with the Rhaenyra and King's Landing plotline for right now. I do want to just get all her stuff over with, and because let's might as well get the Damon and him at the Eyrie, him still trying to look out for his daughter. Here, like who gave him the news that Raina was thrown in the fucking jail and was out there still being spotted flying around without it getting to Rhaenyra. I feel like Mazaria is doing a horrible job as the mistress as a whisperers. She don't know fucking shit. She doesn't know nothing at all. Like the best we seen from her this season was her, I guess, catching Allison escape, but that's people that's already in the castle with you. You're finding nothing out in the city. You're finding nothing out in other kingdoms and stuff like that. In other towns and cities and villages, you have no motion right now. So what the fuck is Lady Misery doing? I just don't know. I just don't know. But yeah, Damon still trying his best to look out for his daughter all the way up until the end. So we seen a dragon battle I did not expect. Um, Happy that we are getting this side from Damon this season, because I feel like it was something that was missing for so long. Well, not even for so long, for the first two seasons. We didn't really get to see him care about anybody else but Rhaenyra. Even like, yes, he loves his wife and he loves his kids, but him going out his way and showing emotion and affection for somebody, risking his neck and lying for them, I feel like that's something he only did for Rhaenyra. And we didn't really get to see a lot of that with him and his daughters and him helping them out and him comforting them. So I feel like this was the best case scenario for Damon, to look out for his daughter. Yes, it's a big debate. You put your daughter first, do you put your wife first? But hey, at least Damon is trying to do the right thing in this situation. And that's why I hate Mazaria for trying to talk that bullshit into Rhaenyra's ear. Like, oh no, see, he still lied to you. Next time, it could be something worse, or far more twisted or evil. But see, he's willing to lie to you. See, that's the bullshit I'm talking about. She has so much against Daemon that she will always speak against him when he is a viable, a big, important piece to this goddamn puzzle when it comes to the blacks. We don't just need to be pissing off Damon or brushing him off or shitting on Damon. No, yes, we need to call him out for his bullshit, but we don't need to be like going out our way to shit on the nigga. But I'm kind of happy for Lady Jane. Just was a little upset she slapped the shit out of Raina last episode, but you also gotta look at it from her perspective. If she get caught in any of this bullshit, it could be her head, it could be her castle getting burnt. So her trying to stay far away from this, giving little information that she could to Damon is very understandable. She doesn't want to be a part of this bullshit. Yes, Sheep Stealer being in the Vale is a big plus, but also a big plus is no dragons being in the fucking Vale. No fucking nuclear death machines that can burn down castles or fucking villages or armies. So yeah, I just understand her situation right here. Like, why do y'all keep showing up here with y'all bullshit? And I'm getting nothing out of it. I'm getting shit out of it. I'm giving y'all money. I'm giving y'all kids a place to stay. I didn't ship them off to another fucking country. What is she getting out of this fucking situation? Yes, I understand. You're supposed to be loyal to your queen and all that. You're supposed to have honor and valor, and you're supposed to remember your word. You're supposed to send your knights and your men to support your queen or king. But again, what is she getting out of this goddamn situation? It seems like she just keep getting the short end of the stick. But this did end up today. This might be the first time I ever seen a dragon like discipline another dragon midair. You know Damon told Caraxes to do that shit, and I feel like Caraxes already got a little bit of beef with Sheep Stealer. Ever since they first seen each other, he smelt that nigga and he landed, he been roaring at him. So yeah, I feel like Caraxes himself wanted to do that. But you also see Damon trying to get through Raina's thick ass skull. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, yes, I know it's very honorable, and it would be a big help to this war if you could kill Vhagar with Sheep Stealer, but this is just a suicide mission. You're gonna fucking die. Um, if you don't even find Vhagar, you're just flying around out here finna get found out about, and you might just get killed by accident out here by your sister or the queens. As we've seen this fucking episode, Rhaenyra and Alan flying down on her, looking for fucking justice. But that was a very interesting scene, and it showed a lot of control Damon still has over his mount in that Dragon 4v4 Fatal 4-Way or 3v1 handicap match, however you want to say it. It still shows how much authority Damon had over his mount out of anybody else there. We know Raina has no fucking control over She Stealer. Alan still is a new rider, so he's still learning. He probably doesn't even have all the commands down in High Valyrian yet, so that's his excuse. Rhaenyra, we seen Rhaenyra in zero action at all. She has zero experience in actually using her dragon in a fight. So her just running, them three just running around together, not knowing what the fuck to do, is somewhat believable when you have these wild ass dragons that have their own free will, and when they see and a fight and they see fire and blood, they are gonna get pumped up and kind of lose control. Um, but yeah, I'm happy they showed that Damon still has some control over Caraxes. A lot of people was wondering that, damn, do even Damon have control over Caraxes now? After Caraxes just disobeyed him and rolled off to find Sheep Stealer. But no, that was just something he knew his rider wanted. Um, I don't believe Sheep Stealer is dead at all. He's just heavily wounded, very, very wounded. Um, but hey, Caraxes is a bad. Did Caraxes even get bit this whole fight? I didn't even see Caraxes get bit the whole fight. He was just standing on 10. Caraxes is a motherfucking badass, and it makes sense. He is a dragon that has been in warfare before. He hasn't been in a dragon on dragon fight before, from my knowledge. You know, Fire and Blood in the TV show, but he has been in an active warfare where he has burning people and eating people alive and stuff like that. Well, burnt bodies alive. So yeah, it would make sense that he would know what to do and have the most combat experience out of all these dragons. Sea Smoke was holding his own too, but still, he had no dragon rider on top of him, shouting commands and what the fuck to do. Damon was also a big help in his battles, telling Caraxes go for the kill, don't waste no motherfucking time. Using Caraxes to go in the air, the fucking mount Sheep Stealer to hold him down. Just a lot of great tag team work, and that's what I love to see. Great chemistry, and I'm happy they keeping that consistent with Caraxes and Damon. Caraxes and Damon. um. So yeah, I actually think if Caraxes wasn't there, Rhaenyra and Al probably would have got fucked up. They probably would have got fucked up out there. I'm just saying because once they hopped off them dragons, they didn't know what the fuck to do. And I know if they would have been out there alone, they would have been on their mount shouting commands and stuff like that. But still, Sheep Stealer was a little bit bigger than them. That was a very, very magical, messy Game of Thrones ass scene. This is the magic of the level of magic Game of Thrones have, the personal beef and family domestic beefs that they have with each other turned to 10 right here. We had four dragons fighting. We had four riders out there yelling and kicking and screaming at each other. So yeah, this is Game of Thrones. This is fantasy drama right here. But other than that, Rhaenyra, after they controlled the situation, they got Raina ass back on, I believe, Adam's Mount, and they got her ass back to King's Landing because what are you doing out here? You just out here causing fucking problems, Raina. Um, you really think you finna do a good job at fighting Vhagar in your last fucking battle? You got fucking Jace killed. It's like, yeah, I think I need more battle now. Like, no, you don't. You need to go sit your ass down somewhere. I'm happy they did that. Also happy that her sister did comfort her as they showed up at King's Landing, and she did apologize. Happy she apologized and acknowledged that she fucked up. I'm so glad it wasn't no. You know, a lot of shows do that now. They have an arrogant character that say, "I got nothing out of life. I've been shitting on my whole life, even though I just fucked up your life." But what about me? My life mattered more. She didn't do none of that with her sister. She let her sister know, hey, I'm sorry. I fucked up. I fucked up. Yeah, nothing I can say or do to make this situation better. Just happy that Baylor had an open heart and is still her sister. These two have probably been very close with each other throughout the years, with them losing their mother at a very young age and dealing with a lot of neglect from their father, probably. Yes, we did see Queen, well, the Queen who never was, Rhaenys, look out for Baylor, but I don't know if that was always that type of thing for Rhaena because I feel like Rhaena grew up on Dragonstone and Baylor grew up on Driftmark. From what the show showed me, we didn't have a lot of time in them flashbacks to get all the details out of their living situations, but from what the show showed me, when they jumped to the future and Baylor was on Driftmark and Rhaena was on fucking Dragonstone with Rhaenyra. So hey, yeah, but very happy they was able to make up and not just hate each other forever because these are two people that have lost a lot. Baylor probably lost more than Rhaena in this war, losing her husband, losing being the queen and stuff like that. So the person who lost a lot, I'm just happy that she was very understanding of Rhaena and her problems and was able to forgive her and things like that. Um, I feel like that's pretty much it with most of the King's Landing, Rhaenyra plotline, and stuff like that. So I want to get to everybody else this episode, you know. Um, so yeah, I feel like we talked about the Rhaenyra and the King's Landing and the Rhaena stuff all together pretty much. I'll probably go more into details about stuff I liked and didn't like in the spoiler situation. So might as well go to the high towers at Tumbleton first and stuff like that because it wasn't a lot from them this episode, but it was a lot of important shit from them this episode. Them letting the Crown know and Adam know that they got Lord Corlys as the hostage. We also won over off in this episode. But I don't understand why they was trying to flip Lord Corlys to their side. Um, yes, you should always try to get more support in a war. You should always try to add more to your army than putting another army to the sword and stuff like that. Why not combine armies then putting another army to the sword and not having these resources and extra men and extra foot soldiers? So yes, the olive branch makes sense, but the thing that doesn't make sense about it, why would you make an olive branch to a guy to go against the Targaryens and talk against the Targaryens when he had a fucking Targaryen wife. He has Targaryen blooded children. He has Targaryen blooded grandchildren. So yeah, why would this guy go against the Targaryens? The same culture and place that he is from, they are from Valyria. I feel like he should have went more with the pitch he had with, oh, like, we know he has spies in the city. He should have went with, yes, I heard that Rhaenyra been treating you like shit. I heard that you sacrificed so much for this war and hasn't got anything in return. Why go through all that when you can be on my side and be rewarded? But his pitch was like, oh, these Targaryens and devilish abominations and talking about them like they're foreign creatures when Corlys is from the same land. He said, "Oh, you're a sailor. You're different from them. You're not the same from them, right? Right? You know the people that you grew up with and spent a lot of time with. You're just so different from them. You're so different from them." That was not a good pitch. I feel like Orman is not really good at winning people over. As we see, nobody has marched on this nigga's side. None of the great houses have showed up for this nigga. And he is not winning none of them over. But I do feel like he is good at scheming and putting plans out there. He accomplished his mission as kidnapping Lord Corlys, but did he really get to his end game? Because he didn't really get Lord Corlys on his side. He has him as a hostage now, but it is an extra thing to add on to the situation that he is in, Lord Orman. But why do you need another hostage in Lord Corlys when you have a whole fucking city, thousands of people under hostage? I just don't get the Lord Corlys plotline situation. There's probably one thing I'm not liking this season or what's left of this show with the plot line that's going on with Lord Corlys. It just seems like so unnecessary. It seems like somebody just drowned your mashed potatoes in a different type of gravy when you already got brown gravy. I don't need country gravy when I already got brown gravy all over this shit. Like, we got hostages. We don't need a highborn hostage. We already proved the point. Rhaenyra is not going to burn this city because she care about these people in this city. Why not go with that? What's the whole Lord Corlys plot line? You're just fucking mutilating this nigga for no reason. I know you don't have a lot to do with him as because he is a big major character in this show, but still, he would be a big help on the council if he was there right now, kinda on the same page as Rhaenyra. I was just talking about Rhaenyra doesn't have a lot of good council members. Lord Corlys is good at some council things. If you don't think he's a good hand to king, he could be a good master of ships or something like that. He is good at giving advice, and he has a lot of experience and been in war, and can give Rhaenyra a lot of political advice that she need right now that she is not getting from her small council. I would love to see Corlys and council scenes instead of hostage scenes and getting his fucking fingers cut off. And you probably why I'm thinking I'm so passionate about this because this is not in Fire and Blood. This is so different. Corlys was at the small council during these times. So yeah, this is something that they just pulled out of their ass to put on the show to have the character to do something, I guess, more interesting than just doing council meetings. But whatever. But also, we see the meeting, well, not even meeting, the conversation with Gwaine and Daron, my two favorite greens so far. Just two honest, good characters that I like. Yes, they are on the wrong side of the war, but it also make me like them more that they are not just gonna turn their cloak and go against their side of the family because what Rhaenyra believes she's right. No, that's not realistic here. You see that this is a boy that misses his mother, and he probably think the best way of returning to his mother and getting his mother back is sticking to this war. But he also suggested fleeing, but he also didn't want to be looked at as a coward. Well, he didn't suggest fleeing. Gwaine suggested him to flee, which is very understanding from Gwaine's standpoint. He loves Darren. This is his nephew. He doesn't want to get this boy hurt and stuff like that. He's not like Lord Ormond that's just pushing this boy off into this war, knowing it is so fucking dangerous to do this. It is not worth the hassle of Darren being pushed as king because he's just another person that has to die now. He has to die. He has been declared king. It's just to the point that I even made money of the nigga. Darren has to die from Rhaenyra's standpoint, and you just made the boy a fucking target. That's all that Ormond did. And I'm so happy that Gwaine is around to be like the good cop that looks out, the good parent that looks out for Daron. So yeah, it makes sense why he would suggest that Darren to flee from this situation. There's nothing to gain here. You got two powerful dragons outside this wall. You have a large army outside this wall that wants to fucking kill us. It's not gonna really spare us. So I might not survive, my dear nephew, but hey, you can get the fuck out of here. But I'm happy that Darren, finally showing a little bit of that courage and free will and spirit. Like, no, I'm just not gonna flee. Who will accept me? Who will ever accept a coward when everybody knows I left my men? Who will ever treat me like a normal human being again, knowing I abandoned the whole army to die a fiery death or to get put to the sword by the Riverlanders and the Winter Soldiers and stuff like that. No, Darren would look like a straight goddamn coward. And his name Darren the Darren, so I'm happy that he stood on 10 like, no, I'm not fleeing. I know we in the thick of it, so hey, nigga, I'm in the thick of it too. But I'm starting to, yeah, I'm loving their scenes together with Darren and Gwaine. But pretty much left uh, the Hightower and Tumbleton plot line for this episode is the conversations with Orman and Off. Well, the one conversation with them, which is very understandable. We have seen Off get treated like a piece of shit since this season has started. The first time we seen him and Damon have a scene together, Damon slapped the shit out the nigga. The next time we see him and Damon have a scene together, Damon was treating his ass like a badass puppy. And then the next time we see them have another scene together, Damon slapped the shit out of him, slapped them down in the fucking streets of King's Landing. So yeah, I understand why Oath is the first one to turn his cloak, and he's been getting no love, even from Rhaenyra. He has been getting no love. Treating Oath like a goddamn child. I understand he is a big, vital part to this army, and if he gets killed out there being a drunkard and flea bottom, that would be a major loss to this campaign and stuff like that. But like O said, people need a little bit of freedom right now, especially when you have people in war, and especially you have a person who is on a dragon burning people alive. Let's get them a little bit of comfort so they won't go insane, you know. But she didn't look at it like that. She looked at Oath like a pawn in her whole goddamn game, which she should. She is the queen, but she should also be showing more respect and giving these people a little bit more freedom. Because if she don't, we gonna see more and more of situations like this. People turning their fucking cloak on Rhaenyra. Cause you think about who has Rhaenyra actually rewarded? Who has Rhaenyra actually rewarded so far that has helped her? Like that ass. Who has Rhaenyra rewarded so far who has helped her? Her small council that was on Dragonstone, she just left them niggas there. She said, fuck them. They was there when she was looked at as a traitor. She was not on the Iron Throne and stuff like that. So she just left them behind. Said, "Oh, y'all helped me when I was at my lowest, but I'm at my highest now. I'm up. I'm queen now. So fuck y'all. Then look out for them." Her dragon riders, she does not look out for. Hugh just want a fucking house. The nigga just want a house. You can't get a nigga a house right now. All the lords that you shitted on in the beginning of this season that was holding back funds and resources towards the small folk. You couldn't, kick one of them motherfuckers out and get that house to oath or something like that. Hugh, look out for your people. Look out for your dragon riders. It's one more person I feel like she has not rewarded, and the Valerian situation, Corlys situation. Corlys has sacrificed so much for Rhaenyra. He sacrificed his wife. He sacrificed his truth. He sacrificed a fucking castle for her ass. And all he asked for, he didn't ask for no gold. He didn't ask for anything resource-wise. Only thing he asked for his kids to get legitimized, and she couldn't even get a nigga that. So you would understand why so many people why Oath would turn on Rhaenyra. She doesn't look out for the people that helps her at all. At all. Well, the only person she's helped so far, what? Mazaria? And you can look at that as favoritism because she has an intimate relationship with her. So yeah, she is not a very loyal person from what I've gathered. And I'm always down for the blacks. You can call off a turncoat all you want, but from what his experience, from what he's gathered, from what he's seen from everybody else, the blacks isn't gonna give him anything, and they're gonna treat him like shit. And what's the glory in that? What's the reward in that? Nothing. But when you have a guy like Ormond that is whispering sweet nothing into your goddamn ear and saying, "Oh, why be Lord of Little Honey Hole when you can be the Lord of High Tide?" Yeah, things like that is gonna go to your head, and things like that is gonna sound tempting and sound interesting especially when you've been getting treated like shit and haven't been getting shit in return to make up for that situation or to comfort you at all. So I'm very happy. That's probably one of my favorite things they have set up so far. The betrayal of Oath. It made so much sense. They laid so much groundwork for it. Now I just want to see how does it play out. How does it play out? I know how it played out. I read the goddamn book. But in the show wise, they got so many changes and stuff. I just want to see in this adaptation how does the Oath betrayal plays out. But yeah, I feel like that was all with the High Towers and the Tumblety situation. I might as well jump towards the Riverlands and go to Harrenhal and talk about the Aemon and Alice and Allison stuff because it's so interesting and I love it. I love a lot of it. Well, let's put it like this. Some of this stuff about this plot line I love. Some of this shit is pure stupidity. On Rhaenyra's part, it is pure stupidity to send a mother to assassinate her son when if this goes wrong, he's just gonna keep Allison as he tried to do. He didn't know that she was up to no good, but still, he killed the person that you sent to assassinate him, and he was about to keep his mother there. So yeah, that plot just did not go good. And you also lost a member of your Kingsguard. You losing Kingsguard members left and right. Like I was saying in the reaction, Kingsguard members, in my opinion, is used bestly when leading an army and stuff like that. Like if she send a Kingsguard out there to help out with a unit, help out the Riverland army or something like that, that would be very useful. Sending a Kingsguard on a stealth mission of pure deception and stuff like that, and trickery and dishonory, that doesn't fit the white cloak. That doesn't fit what they are built for. There's have been stealth missions from Kingsguards in the past. We all know the story of Sir Barristan sneaking into Duskendale and freeing King Ares from Duskendale under a stealth mission, but he got found out about and stuff like that. But still a stealth mission. But yeah, as we see, this was not a good job done. His best option there was when he seen Aemon, he should have just went for the sword. He should have just went for the fucking sword fight. Why try to stab him in the back? Why try to prolong this? This guy's probably already suspicious of you. If you see Aemon Targaryen, you feel like you got a shot at him. You got him face to face, and you a Kingsguard and confident in your skills, nigga. Why not just up your sword and face him right then and there? But yeah, that plan was just all wrong. I do love the aspects of the dreams and kind of nightmares or his fucking fantasy dreams, depending on how you look at it. Aemon sleeping with his mother. We seen stuff like that from last season with Daemon Targaryen, but it's something like that spooked him. It terrified him. Aemon, I don't know. He pushed Alice off of him, but I don't know if he was disappointed. It doesn't seem like he was disappointed, but he did walk off. He pushed the bitch off of him because it doesn't seem like he's against it being Allison because we seen this nigga is into his fucking mother. So I don't get the him rejecting that. That seemed, I don't know. Um, but you can see where Alice is coming from. Why she would want Allison the fuck out of this castle because it is going against all of her plans. It is throwing a monkey wrench in her goddamn plan. I feel like from her experience and the way she is very knowledgeable and she can gather knowledge very easily. I don't want to say how she can gather this knowledge because it could be spoilers. I'll talk about that in the spoiler zone at the end of this video. But she has her ways of getting knowledge. Let's just say that. We all know that at this point. Hell, she knew there was a battle going on in the gullet when she was at Harrenhal. Like, how the fuck did she know that? So, we know why she would be suspicion of Allison. She has predictions. She is a great predictor. She kind of knows people's bullshit, and she knew that Allison was there to be up to no good and go against her cause. And it's also not helping her. She probably knows that Aemon has this mother fetish, and her way of getting close to Aemon and getting what the fuck she want out of Aemon is her being the maternal role, her being that mother fetish, that MILF in Aemon's life. Because if you have Allison there adding her ideas and throwing her off the balance that Aemon and Alice have, you're gonna throw a whole monkey wrench to Alice's plans because Allison is just not gonna sit there and shut up. If she's gonna be a hostage there, she's gonna say some things to her son that might throw her son off a few of the plans that Alice has set up for him. Um, but she warned him. She warned him that this is strange. You really think your mother got out of the city with one loyal knight? and she left Helena behind. Like, really? Really? I'm happy that she called out the bullshit. She didn't say nothing spooky. She didn't say nothing magical. Her final saying, she just said, "An idiot. You are a idiot. I warned you." How did you believe you can trust a person that was just under hostage? The smartest thing Eamon did this episode was probably killing that King's Guard as soon as possible. Let's see if y'all able to comment. Y'all hear me right? If you in the chat, give me a thumbs up or something. My audio straight. But yeah, I feel like the whole Allison going to Harrenhal plot line was just some extra stuff for the actress to do since she is one of the top billing actresses on this show and one of the main characters on this show. A lot of stuff they have pulled out of their ass for Allison this season is not in the books and stuff like that, and a lot of it has not been good at all. The most understandable things is the escape attempts. I understand that. That's realistic. That makes sense. Some stuff they would add and put in the show. Because, again, who's just gonna sit around and be a hostage at Rhaenyra's and Daemon's mercy? um, but yeah, I have very mixed feelings about the Allison and her Harrenhal mission. Her just running off poisoning her son. I still don't find it plot wise realistic, her killing her son by poison, or I don't find it realistic her getting back to King's Landing when they have already established the last episode how rough it is on these goddamn roads now. The King's Road, the hidden passages and cuts, all of it, all that shit's dangerous now. And she even said herself, I don't believe she's lying. She would have made it with hair to Harrenhal without that King's Guard. So yeah, if she just shows up back at King's Landing next episode unharmed, that's just unrealistic. I don't want to. I'm not saying I want to see harm done to Allison or see the actress in another weird ass creepy scene or something like that. But I'm just saying, the whole setup of her going to Harrenhal to be the one to help kill her son makes no sense at all, and I don't like it. I'm happy that we are just gonna get more Aemon and Alice Rivers at Harrenhal, them by themselves together. Give me more of that, and give me more of them trying to build this dynasty and stuff like that. I don't want to see no more of Allison going off on sneaky missions and shit like that. Enough of that bullshit. It's just so many unrealistic plot lines, and a lot of the unrealistic plot lines always center around Allison and fucking Rhaenyra's character. Them always sneaking off somewhere when they are the most famous people in the fucking world. Allison was fucking queen for over 20 years. She just able to sneak around the realm freely as she will. Just this cloak, this little blue cloak finna have me. Nobody gonna be looking under that cloak when they riding past us on the road and shit. Like, you what? um. So yeah, I'm just happy that's over with, and it's just gonna be Aemon and Alice Rivers by themselves at Harrenhal. So enough of Harrenhal bullshit. Trying to make sure I don't skip over anybody else's plot line this episode. Harrenhal, we talked about a lot. We talked about a lot. Oh, Aegon and Sunfire returning. So happy to see Sunfire the Golden is back, and they kept it somewhat book accurate. Well, book accurate with the mutilated jawline and stuff like that, and being damaged from the first battle at Rook's Rest, because it's something they could have, had a few damages done to Sunfire and skip over it because of budget reasons. But I'm happy they added those touches. Um, this is the thing about the Aegon plotline. I will never root for Aegon as a person because the things he have done in the past, him being a goddamn, rapist. So, but this redemption, they have great redemption arcs for horrible characters that's still horrible characters. Like, did Aegon become a better person being humble, not having a dragon? No. Did he learn that he was a horrible person when he had a dragon? Yes. But is he finna change and be a better person for now? No. We seen in that goddamn scene, it is finna be more fire and blood from this goddamn sicko. But I do like the way that they write for Aegon. Everybody just not 100%. Haha, yes, I'm a villain. Haha, no. Some evil people have good characteristics, like in season 2. Aegon, all you can say about the guy, or whatever you want to say about the guy, it seemed to me he was trying his best to be a good father and get the prince that he did have alive ready for the throne and ready to rule this realm. Unlike his father didn't do for him because he wasn't the one picked to be the heir, but still, his father didn't guide Aegon in any type of way. Some Targaryen princes are expected to take over a military command or married off to, you know, daughters that's in line to get the castle, and the prince can rule through them and stuff like that, to set up their branch at a different household. But Aegon was never taught for any of that. He was never set up for any of that. And some things you can sympathize for him, for some things. So him trying to get his son on the small council and spend time with him and help him out, that's a good trait. That's a good character trait. Aegon, you know, realizing the error of his ways, realizing he has squandered his life and he is a piece of shit. That's a good character trait to have for somebody. Doesn't mean you gotta make them into a good person, but it also means a bad person can be aware sometimes that they have done fucked up shit, and I'm glad that they are doing this with Aegon. It's a good balance of him being the most horrible person in the world and a great balance of him trying his best to be a good man. And I see hints of that at times, but deep down in his core, he is still the same person, a horrible man. Yes, happy to see Sunfire's back and all that. I feel like we kind of knew that Larry's wasn't really finna hold his ground and fight to the death with fucking Tylan and Aegon. That's not his type of character. That's not the type of person that he is. He's been saying from day one, I'm no person of the blade. I'm best with my whispers. So I will live on to tell y'all a brave story and how y'all died here today, but I'm not gonna be the nigga dying here with y'all today. And we already know this nigga is on both sides. We seen him give up auto, so he is not gonna just die for no fucking reason. This is a type of person that's trying to get the best out of this situation for himself. This is not like a this is not like a very situation where, oh, he's trying to look out for the realm, but he is also doing bad things to look out for the realm. No, this is a person that's selfish and out for himself. And to be honest, I still don't know what he wants out of this whole situation, what he wants at the end, it was something that was confusing in the books as well. Like, why did he do the things that he did? Like, it didn't make a lot of sense. He didn't really get a lot out of it. He had close ties to the side that he was hurting the most in some cases. Like, I just hope by the end of this show they let us know why he was playing both sides and what he really wanted out of this. He is a very realistic person. He should know he's not gonna be king, um, or something like that. But is it him shooting for hand of the king or something like that? By the end of this, I just want to know what was Larry's whole goal here? Why was he helping both sides? Why was he so dedicated to helping Aegon out in this war and stuff like that? But we did see him slink off. I don't know where he's gonna pop up next, cause he hasn't really done a. Yes, he gave over Otto, but can you really trust this guy to be around now on your small council or be at the Red Keep? No, if he goes back to court, the most realistic thing to do is to kill this guy. I don't care who the fuck you gave us, nigga. You has been cited around the fucking realm helping Aegon. But I do feel like that is it for almost every plot line of this episode. Yeah. Other than that, only thing we have left, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, yeah. Only thing we have left, ladies and gentlemen, is the Battle of Tumbleton, and that's saving it for the last episode. And goes to show you a lot of big shit is about to pop off at Tumbleton, and I'm here for it. I can't wait. But other than that, if you want to see full length reactions, go on here, subscribe to my Patreon. I did do a reaction to this episode. That is my main priority. If you think I only do reviews, yes, my main priority is reactions. Be looking out for the reaction on YouTube later in the day. The full length reaction is on Patreon. You can subscribe to my Patreon. Link should be down in the description below. If you just want a taste of what my Patreon is like before you make that commitment, you can watch the first episode of this season up on my Patreon for free. The full length Battle of the Gullet reaction is up on my Patreon for free. Some people say you don't even need to find your own footage. Everything is synced up over there perfectly right up on my Patreon. Link should be down in the description below. But now I'm going to talk about some spoilers, book spoilers, stuff I'm seeing from the trailer. If you don't want to get spoiled, you can leave now. I'm going to give you a little bit of time. But yeah, if you don't want to get spoiled, this is the time to leave. I feel like I need to put that on the screen or something. I am talking about spoilers right now. The difference from the books and stuff. So, is there any way I can put that in the chat? Let me see. Give me one moment. I'm just trying to make sure anybody that comes in doesn't get spoiled. I don't want to be a. I don't want to be an asshole. Alright, I'll print the message. Alright, it's time to talk about a few spoilers and some stuff I like and don't like. Changes from the book. One moment. The Reina plotline is so disappointing. It seems like such a big waste of a character, such a big waste of a dragon and a plotline. Because they did nothing with it. They did nothing. They had Raina go on this arc like there was going to be some big change and major change to the histories and stuff. When she just lives, she just goes, she gets to do all the stuff, the quote unquote, well, Neville doesn't get Jace killed, but she does get involved in that battle. She just get to do all the cool Neville shit and goes to fuck off back to King's Landing and be a princess again. It feel like a plot line with no real consequences. Cause what really happened here? Jace was gonna die anyway, no matter how different they wrote this. Because he still goes down to the pirates in Fire and Blood, no matter if Sheepstealer was there or not. They had scorpions able to bring a dragon down. He was flying low in the battle. His dragon was small. So, yeah, it was really no consequences to the big changes that they made from the book for Raina's plotline. I'm thinking, oh, this is finna be the end of Raina. She's just finna do the nettle things and just go live off in the veil and never be heard from again. But no, they don't do nothing like that. She doesn't, discover the burnt men and have her own tribes and be worshipped and stuff like that. No, they just gave her the Nettles plotline just to give her something to do this season, and you can see a lot of that with a lot of characters because the characters that actually doing stuff at this point in Fire and Blood is not characters that they focus on all this season. A lot of fans are confused on who shot down Christian Cole last week, and they still confused after this episode probably on who the fuck shot down Christian Cole last week. Like characters like that, Black Alley, Raleigh the Ruin, more of the River Lords and stuff like that. I feel like they should have been featured because they are finna go into a big major battle the next episode, and a lot of people don't even know who these people are and why they should care for them and stuff like that. So yeah, um, it's just a lot of wasted time this season on characters that in the books is just not doing nothing at this moment or in King's Landing or just at small council meetings or in prison like Allison. Allison isn't doing shit. The only thing she's doing in Fire and Blood at this point is talking shit to Queen Rhaenyra and stuff like that. Still calling them boys bastards after everything. Yes, I would love to see more of that because that would be something different for Allison to do. Everybody loved the passion that Allison showed. I believe that was episode 7 of season 1 when they was on Driftmark and she had that argument. She had the dagger on Rhaenyra. Everybody was expecting, oh my god, is this whole series finna be like that? Is their meetings and their interactions at King's Landing finna be like that when Rhaenyra take over the throne? People was kind of looking forward for that type of energy. Not to say that she's finna just be pulling a dagger out on Queen Rhaenyra every second while she's the queen of the realm and is ruling the Red Keep. No, but I would love to see more fire from Allison like I seen in season 1. Like Otto said, I didn't know you had that in you, and I never seen it again. So I guess you don't got that in you, Allison. I just a lot of people is over the force scenes with Rhaenyra and Allison, the whole them being buddy, but in the big picture of it all, on the outside point of view, they are enemies. Like what is it? I said it last week, but what is it gonna take for them to finally be finally be enemies? What is it gonna take for them to get back to season 1, episode 7? Them airing out all their grievances and calling each other hypocrites and frauds and stuff. When are we gonna get back to that? So them just having these four scenes where Rhaenyra keep going to Alicent to figure out a problem or something like that just doesn't make sense. You have a small council. Talk to your fucking small council. Talk to your goddamn husband. Talk to all the family members that are adults now that you can lean on. So yeah, I just feel like they waste so much time on the quote unquote main characters of this season when these main characters didn't have a lot to do this season. Yes, they should show a lot of Rhaenyra in these council meetings, ruling the realm and dealing with all the problems she has to deal with as being queen. But that doesn't mean she had to spend these extra time and extra scenes just to have this character bond and spend these time with Allison and reminisce on these old memories they had and stuff like that. Like nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. Go to these other characters. Give them the time that they need to express why we should like them, why we should hate them. Should we be cheering for the Winter Soldiers? Or should we be cheering for the Riverland Army? Because it seems like the only people we have really got to spend time with and we actually really know is the Greens this season. So yeah, just something I just don't understand. It's just so much time wasted when it's small characters that need this television time to get their point across. I'm not saying we need a million battles that was like in Fire and Blood, but we need more scenes with this army. Like we need more scenes with these characters that's going to be doing major things in the last episode. So I don't know how they're gonna do that. It's supposed to be an epic moment with Rowdy the Roaring killing Ormond and killing Bo John, but yeah, is they gonna do all that? I don't know. I don't know. Is they gonna get at all that to a character we barely know? I would love to see that as a book reader, of course, but we barely know these people. Like I'm sitting here shouting, rooting for Black Allie, but I don't know what type of person she is at all. Only thing I know about Black Allie is she sings songs and she's good at a crossbow in this series. Other than that, they have given us nothing, nothing at all to show why we should care about the army that's marching down from the Riverlands um, at all. They have not done a great job with that. Um, Happy to see the way they set up the oath stuff. They did a great job with it. I'm just still confused on the Hughes situation, on how he's gonna be the one to help and burn Tumbleton as well because his wife is still in that city, or now that Oath have turned this. It still doesn't make sense because if Hugh burns the city because let's say if Hugh burns the city because he has no choice, Oath ratted him out and said that his wife is in the city and they can use the wife as leverage to get Hugh the Hammer to help him out in this battle. It still wasn't. It still wouldn't make sense at all. Like you just gonna use this guy as a hostage for next season. The guy with the biggest, the second biggest dragons in the world as a hostage. No, I feel like he needs something needs to happen to, that would want to make Hugh join the Greens, and I feel like they have done nothing at all, in my opinion, that would want to make Hugh join the Greens. It would make it, all the stuff that's going on would make it seem like he would hate the Greens more. They have his wife in a situation where he can't get his wife back. She's in the city under hostage, and she's refusing to leave because she also has family members that are there in danger as well. So I just don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. I'm very convinced on the Oath plot line. They did a great job with that, but the Hugh, that's gonna be something that they literally pulled out of their ass. That's gonna be a swerve type moment that probably doesn't make sense at all because everything that they have given us so far from Hugh, he doesn't seem like he would betray and burn a city because his wife is still in that fucking city. If you just joined in now, I'm talking about spoilers. This is a spoiler zone. You can watch this video after where I talk about non-spoilers for majority of this video. But if you want to hear about spoilers, I'm talking about spoilers now. Because I read the book and I'm just comparing a few things I like and don't like in Fire and Blood. But yeah, I'm just very confused on how Hugh will participate in the betrayal of Tumbleton and the burn of Tumbleton. I can see a lot of people. I can see it from Oath standpoint. We know why Daron is going to do it, but yeah, Hugh, I just don't see it from him. I just don't see it. Um, Trying to see any big major, any things y'all want to talk about spoiler wise, book changes. You can put them in the comments. That's what I'm talking about right now. I'm skimming through the episode just to see that I'm talking about everything. I'm not forget nothing because as soon as this episode is over, I'm gonna remember something. And the Corliss, I already talked about some of that stuff. Corliss being a hostage at Tumbleton is so unnecessary. It's not something happening in the books. Just some extra bullshit they want to give to a major character because I guess they feel like small council meetings is probably too boring for this epic character. Like, no, we love when epic characters can also be smart characters as well. And I feel like they haven't done a good job at that. I feel like every time Lord Corliss doesn't get his way or he gets mad about something, he just storms off and goes swing his sword at something, and that's brute behavior. And I feel like they don't do a good job of expressing the smart guy that got his family all of this wealth. Is or what you mean, Soki? Is or but yeah, I'm just not very interested on. I just I talk about it at the end of is Orman in the book. Yeah, Orman is in the books, but he is not a very fleshed out character in the books. He only they only talk about the events that Orman do in the books. Like Orman was at this battle, he put this castle to the sword, or he gathered his force and went there. But they didn't really give like character traits on what type of person Orman was in the books. So yeah, Orman was in the books. But I am talking about spoilers right now. I guess you don't care about spoilers, but yeah, if you don't want to get spoiled, I suggest you leave. I don't mind at all. You can just watch it later. I'm coming out with the reaction later, and you can watch this later where I talk about non-spoilers for almost an hour. But yeah, Orman is in the books, and most of his plot it will be wrapping up at the next episode. They keep it book accurate. Um, he has not even a battle or duel. Let's just say he goes up against Rowdy the Run, and Rowdy the Run hands him his ass. But a big difference next week that I seen from the trailer, like I said, I'm going to talk about trailer stuff and book stuff, not anything that got leaked. Yeah, this season seems off a little bit because the first two episodes were so exciting and fun and seemed like so much plot heavy stuff was happening in those first two episodes because those first two episodes were supposed to be a part of season two. Season two was supposed to be 10 episodes, but HBO cut them back to 8 episodes, budget reasons, actors strike reasons, and stuff like that. Um, there's a lot of stuff in this show that's not the showrunner's fault. Yes, they do make a lot of changes from the books and stuff, but the pacing of this show and stuff like that seems off because we got season two penultimate episode and the season finale, the beginning of this season, and the rest of this season is the season three build up, and it's not a lot of time to do the season three build up. That's why I'm talking about like why it's I feel like they are wasting so much time with Allison and Rhaenyra's scenes when you don't get a lot of that in the books because they are enemies in the books. You are wasting so much time with them because you need to get that time to the characters that are actually doing things at this moment in the books, like majority of the Riverland army and stuff like that. And we have no emotional attachment. I have no emotional attachment at all to the Riverland army in this TV show adaptation because they have not fleshed them out well. They have not been given any screen time. Yes, last episode was a cool moment when they killed Sir Christian, but who are these people? Why should we care about them? What are their characteristics besides them fighting and singing? I love my combat, but give me good reasons of why y'all doing this combat when you have major characters like Rowdy the Ruin and some more River Lords and stuff that are gonna. I'm talking about spoilers if you just came in here, but are going to die the next episode. Why not give them the time for us to care about them, for us to be emotional about them, for us to be angry at them, for the stuff that they are going to do the next episode? These are just strangers with swords from different regions of the realm that are loyal to Rhaenyra. This is just Rhaenyra's army. We have no characteristics from these people. The only person that we know in the army for real is Lord Oscar Tully because we did get some moments with him last season at Heron Hall. Him having moments with Damon, Damon teaching him, and him teaching Damon how to deal with Riverlanders and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know if he's gonna die. Um, at the Battle of Tomlinson, Lord Oscar, because who else is it to take over? Who else is it to take over the Tully family? He seems like the youngest member of his family. We have seen no cousins, uncles, nobody fighting with him that is blood related. It seems like he is the only member of his family left. So if he dies at Tumbleton, exactly, I was on the site to see start, man. Yeah, it just doesn't make no sense. Like I don't mind them spending time at Ormond, but give me time on the person he's going to be fighting with. Give me time on his enemy. It just seems like so much time was not given to the Riverland army, and they are a huge key to the final episode that we supposed to care about. We supposed to care about these people. Some of these deaths are legendary and heroic in the books, like Rowdy the Ruin. The thing that he did to solidify his death in the books is so heroic, going after Lord Ormond and cutting down Bojaw and Roston, killing two guys with Valyrian steel swords when he had one fucking arm. That's heroic stuff. But will we care about that when we barely know this guy? I don't. I don't care about that when I barely know this guy. Let me know who this guy is so I can root for him. Like all the stuff y'all hear me shouting for and me being happy for is stuff in the books. When you hear me shouting on Black Alley, you hear me cheering for Rowdy the Ruin. All that stuff is stuff from the books. That's stuff not that's been set up in the show. They did not give me that hope or have me care for them of stuff they given to them in the show. All that stuff is book love that book fans want to see, and yeah, it's just so much stuff that's being wasted. So much time wasted on Allison and Rhaenyra scenes, just so unnecessary. I can see why they doing the Ormond scenes. You have to build him up. He is the big bad for this season, but we need to see the people gonna take down the big bad. So yeah, enough of that. I don't want to be repeating myself or rambling on. So yeah, trying to make sure anything else y'all want to talk about, book changes or things. Oh yeah, I do want to talk about the Battle with Tama, and they picked such a great actor to play. Yes, I love that actor. I've been seeing that actor since I was a fucking kid. So sorry that I don't know the name. I don't know the actor's name. I have a bad habit of not learning actors and actresses' name, but that's on me. That's all my fault. That's not on anybody else. That's on me right here. But I love that actor. I've been seeing him in movies and TV stuff since I was a kid. The first thing that come to mind, me being black, I seen him in All About the Benjamins. That's the first thing I think of when I see this actor, All About the Benjamins. And he was kind of cutthroat and ruthless. He did a great job at being a villain and, you know, getting off a tough guy vibe. And him, he's got better with age, like everybody do when you are good at something. You learn how to get better at your craft. And him being a grizzled, veteran, tough type character, you can bat at for him. But I need to see more scenes than him just. Yeah, he was a villain all about the Benjamins. Trying to see what else he was in because he was in a lot of other stuff. Oh fuck! I'm just gonna look it up. We got time, shit. I'm just gonna look it up. All about a Braveheart. Thank you. He was in Braveheart. He was also in Gladiator. He was the one that got hanged in Gladiator. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, he was the one who got hanged in Gladiator when they tricked him out of the city and he told him leave, just get out of here. He was the one who got hanged in Gladiator. He was in Gladiator and Braveheart. He was the guy that got dead wrong when they had the Lord's first right night type of thing like they have in Game of Thrones and stuff. So yes, this is an amazing actor. Has a lot of experience in being in sword and sandals type of films, and I feel like they have wasted his acting chops. Yes, he's on that Tommy show too. I only seen the first season of that. I really don't like the writing of a lot of 50 Cent shows. I love the original Power series, but everything after that been hit or miss and been up and down. I've really not been interested in. But yes, he is in Power. And that first season, I did watch. I did see him in that Tommy season of Power. He did a great job. That's why I had this. That's why I was happy to see he got casted for this role because he was like in that role he was a tough grizzled gangster. It's kind of the same vibe here. He's a tough grizzled warrior. So yes, I was expecting to see more acting moments and scenes from this character. It seems like a wasted opportunity to get such a. He's no like. I'm not trying to shit on the guy. We know Brad Pitt, but a lot of people know the actor, and it seems like a wasted moment to hire this actor who is so good just to give him one talking scene. What, one or two talking scenes? Yeah, he gets zero screen time, and yeah, um, I just don't know about that. I just don't know. I do want to talk about. I don't think it's something I talked about recently. Is what's gonna happen when Rhaenyra shows back up on Dragonstone. It's most likely gonna be the whole castle turned against her, which kind of what happened in the books, but it was mostly the fault of the castellan, the person who had control of the castle, him having that much power to flip and turn the castle and give it over to Aegon. But you can also see in this adaptation why the whole fucking castle would turn against Rhaenyra on Dragonstone, because she left her small council behind, Lord Celtigar and I believe Lord Baramin and stuff like that. She left them behind. They have not been rewarded for their loyal services. I believe they probably not even back on Dragonstone at this point. If they is, they sitting there looking like a bunch of idiots. Even her loyal Grand Maester that was with her. Season got me 180. Yes, here's the thing. I would root for Aegon so much if Aegon was not a rapist. Even in the books, it's so sick of the type of person Aegon is. It's so hard to root for him. He is supposed to be this horrific, horrible character that is the epitome of an evil soul, from the looks of it, from the way he acts, to him growing into being this monster little by little. Yes, he was always a pervert, but the more it progressed, more and more the things that he did to people, the horrific things that he did to people throughout the book, it really matched the way that he looked. Like, the more he got mangled, the more evil and twisted Aegon got. And in this adaptation, in this show, I don't see that at all. I don't see this guy getting more and more evil. Um, he really hasn't really done a bad thing that I would hate this guy forever for, since what, season one, probably, since he raped his handmaiden. So yeah, I will always hate him for that, but the way the show portrays Aegon, they are kind of putting him on that redemption arc. I talked about that. They are kind of putting him on a redemption arc. Like, I love that they do a mix with their villains. Their villains ain't always, haha, I'm always evil. Everything I do is evil. But you can see the balance with Aegon. In my opinion, Aegon was a good father. In my opinion, Aegon tried to look out for the common folk and the small people when he actually got on the Iron Throne. But we seen it was guys like Otto whispering stuff in his ear, telling him what he can't and can't do, and what's good for Otto's opinion, and that's what's good for the small folk and stuff like that. So they show characteristics of Aegon being an absolute monster, and they also show characteristics of Aegon being an absolutely wonderful person. What dick stands up and says, I'm finna die, sword in hand? Like, a coward, a pussy doesn't do that. So yeah, just one thing you can't call Aegon is a coward. He will get involved in a fight. He will defend himself. Throughout this whole journey, we've seen Aegon defend himself, get him and Larry's out of a few sticky situations. Even when he was whole, we seen him ride off into battle and stuff like that. So yeah, Jamie Lannist's redemption arc does. Um, yes, I can see what you hearing there with the him having a Jamie Lannister type of redemption arc, because in the show, I do need to take some credibility here and accountability. I mean, I need to take some accountability here, because in the show, I did forgive show Jamie's for a lot of his crimes. I'm still up in the air on book Jamie, but show Jamie I love towards the end, and him coming to fight the right fight in the north and stuff like that. But yes, you are right. Jamie did horrible things as well, and I forgave him for that. From the show adaptation, um, Jamie raped Cersei. They can explain it however they want to, or this we shot it wrong, or no, this wasn't what we was expecting. From our own eyes, we are fucking adults. We seen it with our own eyes. That was a rape scene when he raped Cersei. So yes, Jaime was a fucking rapist in that show. When a woman is saying no, 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 don't do this, that's rape. I'm sorry. I don't care what the director or producers or writers is trying to convince us how different it is. We got two eyes, two ears. We seen Jaime be a rapist. So, yes, we did forgive Jaime for a lot of horrible crimes and pushing kids out the window. So, I agree with you. I do have to keep an open mind on. I do have to keep an open mind on Aegon having a redemption arc and coming and just enjoying Aegon for the things and good things that he is doing right now instead of the horrible things that he has done in the past. But again, you can't forget the horrible things that he done in the past. So yes, I'm gonna try to work better on that because Aegon will be a big part of season 4, even way more than he was a part of this season. Because let's not forget, Aegon is the real big bad, last big bad of this whole series. So it's something I'm going to have to come to deal with at the end. Is this character grew or not? But I heard you say with the Mazaria. Yeah, okay, yes, you talk about, but yes, horrible. Has done horrible things. He is just a flat out murderer. I do got to give you that, and I have forgiven him, and I love him for that. So yes, I got to catch myself for being a hypocrite. You are right. You are right. But I do want to talk about the Mazaria and Rhaenyra relationship, like you talk about. That's not something that was in Fire and Blood. Rhaenyra kinda being bisexual is something that was kind of hinted at in Fire and Blood because her spending a lot of time with Lena in the books, like Lena, Rhaenyra, and Daemon were three peas in a pod in the books. They spent a lot of time together. They spent a lot of time flying their dragons together, a lot of intimate time with each other. So from that, you can kind of hint at in those years that Rhaenyra was growing and wait, Rhaenyra was an adult with kids then. So yeah, Rhaenyra was an adult. All of them was adults then. So you can see with that close bond that she had with Lena in the books, you can look at it at her somewhat being bisexual and her marrying Lena's husband directly after Lena dying. You can also bind that as her being bisexual and them being in kind of like a trouble relationship because there's probably something in the books Lena would have been okay with if they from my POV, well, not from my POV, from my perspective, in the books, I believe that they were a trouble at some point, and yeah, I feel like Lena, after her death, wouldn't have mind if Rhaenyra and Daemon would have ended up together. So, for me personally, that's the evidence I think is the evidence for Rhaenyra being bisexual in the show and books, but in the show we see none of that with Lena. We don't even know if they have that close relationship because Lena dies on Pentos at Pentos. So yeah, they kind of just gave all that to I guess the Mazaria situation, which again they came up with them. They came up with themselves. That's something that the show writers came up with. That's something that wasn't in Fire and Blood. Yes, Lady Misery Mazaria was on Rhaenyra's council and stuff like that, but they wasn't really hinted at being in an intimate relationship. But it is evidence for that being that it is possible for that to happen since Rhaenyra was, in my opinion, bisexual in the books with her being in a troubled relationship with Daemon and Lena. But in this show, I feel like it's something that makes Rhaenyra looks weak now because now she is in this intimate relationship with Mazaria, and it seems like Mazaria is whispering sweet nothing into Rhaenyra's ear, and she's getting Rhaenyra to do whatever the fuck she wants, and it kind of seems like that. We see in every council meeting with Damon and Rhaenyra, well, Damon and Mazaria, they are arguing back and forth. Mazaria, we need to look out for the common people. Damon, no, we need to look out for the people that are protecting the city. And you can choose either on whose side to be on, but I feel like Rhaenyra should not always be listening to Rosaria, and I feel like she will listen to Mazaria, Lady Misery, the most because of their intimate relationship. We see how she blows off the rest of her council members in the small council, so that's something that will be most definitely a part of Rhaenyra's downfall in the show. We already see she's a weak master of master of whispers. She knows nothing. Any type of deception, a plot, a plan, she knows absolutely nothing of. Do you think? I gotta go to my comments. Read that shit. Hold on. I'm gonna look it up on my phone. Because I'm recording this off my phone. I can't look at all the comments, but I'm gonna pull it up on my phone. Hold on. Do you think we're going to see Aegon return to the throne by Oh yeah, yeah, most definitely. That was the end. Fire and Blood. Uh, wait. Return to the throne. Are you saying she's gonna die in the throne room at King's Landing instead of going to Dragonstone? Because in Game of Thrones, the way they told and the way Joffrey told it is Rhaenyra died at King's Landing and got ate in the throne room or something like that. I hope they don't go that route because it doesn't make any sense at all. How would Aegon get Sunfire into the city after the battle with Baylor on Dragonstone? Aegon, Sunfire never flies again after that battle with Baylor. So if they're gonna do the battle with Baylor and Baylor losing Moon Dance and stuff like that, that's something that's gonna have to happen on Dragonstone. Him burning right near her. I hope they just take that as just Joffrey being a dumb little boy that doesn't know his history legitimately. Oh yeah, that's most definitely going to be a tough job finishing this story in one season because we just now getting to the well, they're going to skip over like we seen them do. We've seen them skip over so many battles and stuff like that. So battle wise, what's what's honestly left battle wise? Let's think about season 4. All the big moments that's most likely going to happen in season 4. Um, the second battle of Tumbleton, we're going to get Damon versus Aemon. Um, we we have to have that last fight. We might not get that last fight between the Baratheons and the last of the River Lords that march towards King's Landing, but we probably will because that is the last battle of the dance, the real last battle. We have to deal with big moments. We have to, like I said, we have to deal with the Baylor. Yes, it's gonna have to be a big budget moment every episode. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So how is it going? It's time to wrap a lot of this stuff up, but do they have the budget to wrap all this up in one season? That's the question. And do they have time for multiple dragon fights next season? Do they have time for multiple battles next season? Well, they had a budget for multiple battles next season. So I think it's all about budget next season. It's not about time next season. It is budget. We've seen them skip over a lot of battles and big key moments of this series. So I feel like they're gonna do that again in season 4. We won't be getting the big long Owl the Wolf, in my opinion. I would love to see an accurate adaptation of the Owl the Wolf and stuff like that. But again, like you said, we don't have time. Where they had a budget for all that. We probably will get Lord Stark at King's Landing, but will we get it being a whole episode about him setting things back to right? Probably not. Um, but yeah, next season is going to be very, very action packed. It's going to be very, very. It's going to be a lot of character deaths, and there's going to be a lot to deal with. A lot of our favorite characters is going to be dying every episode, and even in Game of Thrones, that's something we didn't have to deal with or go through as an audience. Because think about it, they really kill anybody off in Game of Thrones. They killed a lot of people in the early seasons, like because that's what George did in the books. But after that, the characters, the main characters, they kill a lot of them off. Did they? No, they didn't. The big main characters that really died for real in the last episodes, the last seasons, what Daenerys, Cersei, Jaime. Anybody else with side characters are fucking fodder. So next season we're gonna have to deal with a lot of major characters and characters we grew to love in this little short show. Gonna have to die next season, and it's gonna be death after death. Some episodes gonna be doubling up on the death. So I wouldn't want to be the one to write that season. I wouldn't want to write that shit at all. It's gonna be a tough job to do in 8 episodes. So shout out to them. Um, the writers do piss me off at sometimes with this, with all the major changes that they have made from the books. But I have grown to cope with that because I do feel like this is still a great show. It's not horrible writing, it's not horrible effects or nothing like that. This is still a great show, but it's just not a perfect adaptation of Fire and Blood. Still skimming through to make sure I talk about everything before I wrap it up. Any other questions before I wrap up, ladies and gentlemen? Still upset about the Nettles thing though. Such a big wasted character. Just so wasted. Like I was even accepting the reality that Raina. I'm gonna talk about that in one moment. Remind me if I don't mention that. I'm gonna talk about this real quick. Um, damn, what if I was gonna say Raina and damn, I forgot. Oh yeah, yeah. I accepted the reality that Raina was going to take on the Nettles plotline. Yes, I was upset about them cutting Nettles, but if they was just going to give her the Nettles plotline and her just fuck off into the veil, I wasn't going to be. I was okay with that at this point. I was okay with that. But they gave her a half-ass Nettles plotline. It seemed like they only gave her this plotline to cut Nettles from the show. And I understand they don't want to be casting extra actors and actresses and stuff like that. But still, you cast new actors and actresses this season. You couldn't add Nettles? Yeah, I heard the Nettles shout out this episode, but I feel like they still not gonna add her because what is it? What is it left for Nettles to do at this point? What else was it left for Raina to do at this point as taking on Nettles' character? Nettles in the bush just grows closer to Damon, and then Rhaenyra calls for her head, and Damon tells her to run out forever. That's it for Nettles. So With Raina just effing out to the Veil, I was okay with that. But it seemed like they are combining both of the plot lines. Since I thought they were just gonna give Raina Nettles plot line, I thought, okay, yeah, yeah. Since Bayla is gonna have this battle with Aegon on Moondance and Moondancer dies, I would have loved to see Bayla be the one that hatches Mourning and has a dragon at the end of this, and the way they set up Bayla to be the one that stands that she is for fire and blood. She doesn't really wants to be a Valerian. Yes, she's interested in them relationship wise and stuff like that, but when it comes to what people see Bayla as, she wants people to see her as a Targaryen, and her being the one to arrive back in King's Landing with Morning, I would have loved to see that from Bayla since they gave Raina the Nettles art. But it seems like Raina is just gonna have her cake and eat it too. She got rid of the Raggedy Dragon. Now, when everything over with, she finna get another beautiful dragon and be the only one with a dragon. So, yeah, I feel like it was no major consequences for the things that this character has done. It seemed like only thing Rhaenyra did was put her on punishment. I understand why Damon did the things that he did. Of course, you would think Rhaenyra was gonna kill fucking Rhaenyra when she was the fault of Jace dying. Everybody would think that, but it was none of that. She's just on punishment. Yeah, punishment. You got a lot of men burnt up on those ships. You killed my son, but go off to your room. Yes, she will be killing herself. Some people are speculating that it will happen next episode, but I am still thinking that they're gonna try to get an actress one more season and hold it off to next season. No, Corliss will not die next episode. From the trailer stuff and from the book standpoint, from my opinions and guesses from the book, Corliss will not be dying next episode. We see Corliss next episode talking with Damon in the trailer, so from that reason, he will not be dying. From the book standpoint, Corliss is like one of the guys that gets this war to ends peacefully. Well, it wasn't like a lot of ammunition and firepower was left at the end of this war to have a big, another chaotic, long, progressive war because, again, majority of the all the dragon riders was dead. If there was any dragons left, they didn't have riders or they was too small. So yeah, Corliss is a big part of piecing this realm back together at the end of this war, and I hope they don't give that to somebody else or just kill the character off. Because they've been doing a horrible job with Corliss when it comes to his politics aspects. Corliss jumps off of Team Green because Rhaenyra calls for the arrest. Uh, I believe I be getting the brothers' names mixed up, but I believe it is Alan. She calls for Alan head. She calls for the arrest of not his head. She calls for the arrest for the rider of Sea Smoke because after the Battle of Tumbleton, she is some people was putting stuff in her ear that you should trust none of these dragon seeds and you should be arresting all of them or calling for the rest of their heads, even though Nettles and Allen didn't do nothing to go against Rhaenyra. She still Rhaenyra turned against them. So that being his son, Corliss warned Allen and told Allen to flee the city, which Allen did. He never really turned his cloak fully on Rhaenyra. He wasn't really finna, oh, let me help the Greens get to power while Rhaenyra is still on the throne. Rhaenyra, Corlys turned his cloak towards the end when Rhaenyra was dead, and he seen that all was lost, and the only way of ending this war and getting this realm back together was him just saying, "Fuck it, Aegon, you're the king." They also had Baela. They also had Baela hostage on Dragonstone after that battle with Aegon. So that's another reason he bent the knee towards the Greens at the end and stuff like that. But you also got to remember there was people hinting that Corlys might have been the one that poisoned Aegon towards the end. So was he really on the green side, or was he just buying time to get little Aegon, Rhaenyra's son, on the throne? So yes, you can look at it as him kind of betraying her, and also you can also look at it as him just protecting his loved ones and seeing Rhaenyra making a horrible decision. He is hand of the king, and sometimes your decision is not over the queen's decision, but sometimes you have to make a decision that's in the best interest for the queen. Because if she would have just arrested Alan then, it would have been nobody to take Tumbleton back over or to end Vermithor and Silverwing and stuff like that. Yes, you can say that he didn't end Silverwing. He only ended Vermithor and Tessarion. Silverwing still lived at the end of this story. But yeah, if it wasn't for Alan, we would have still had to deal with Hugh the fucking Hammer, who wanted to be king and had the biggest fucking dragon at the time. We would have had to deal with Tessarion and stuff like that. So yes, Corlys does a lot to still help out Rhaenyra, but he does bend the knee at the end to the Greens when he realizes this battle, this war cannot be run anymore on the field. Only in the deep cuts and stuff like that, only with shady things in court, only with poison, only with trickery and betrayal can this war be won, and that's why Corlys helps out towards the end. But yeah, other than that, I've probably been talking for almost 2 hours. I gotta wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. Do you guys want to talk about anything else before I leave? I feel like I voiced all of my opinions, well, most of my opinions about the differences from the books and the show, the things that I love, the things that I hate. Anything else before I wrap it on up? Any more questions do y'all have for me before I end this live stream? I believe that is everything. But yeah, that's all, everybody. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Yeah, have a great evening. Thanks for answering my question. I got you. I hope you tune in next week, Suki. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will be dropping a reaction later in the day, so be on the lookout for that. I will be going back live next week. I have to go live now because I've been finding myself talking more about the plots and stuff since, I've grown more comfortable with reviewing stuff and talking about the stuff that I love with the reactions and stuff like that. In the beginning, I would just do a 3 to 5 minute review or something, and it would be it. But when it comes to something like this that I love, like Game of Thrones and The Song of Ice and Fire, I gotta give it its proper time and its proper space and situation, because adding a 2 hour or an hour and 30 minute review of an episode on to the end of reaction was not working well. It was not working out for me. It was making the reactions and the editing longer and harder for me. So this is why I've been going. This is why This is my first technical live, everybody. So this is why I went live. This is why I will go live in the future and stuff like that. When it comes to these heavy plot lines, like Game of Thrones and stuff that I want to talk about and discuss. So, yes, I appreciate everybody hanging out with me. Appreciate you, Suki, for being very active throughout this stream. One of my first viewers and active viewers for the live stream. So, I appreciate that. So, other than that, Thanks for watching, everybody. Be looking out for that reaction. See y'all next time. See y'all next week with House of the Dragon. Damn, how time that thing go?